Two, and hello, welcome to another episode with Rosie the Realtor. And today here we have Brandy, who actually happens to be my neighbor. Hey, Brandy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Welcome back. I know you were on here last week, so thanks for coming back to do this little mini type of loan lender series. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes. Sorry, I still got this wonderful cough. Brandy, tell me a little bit about yourself for those that didn't get to tune in last week.
So, I'm a lender. I've been in the business for about 15 years. We have every program known to man. We have different people for different products, and we always have solutions to meet your needs. It's not if you can buy a home, it's when you can buy a home. So, we try to prep you and get you ready and make that happen.
Perfect, perfect. I like that. Not what if, but when, being able
When?
to work with clients sometimes for a little while to get them to that point.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, sometimes
wonderful.
4 and 5 years. So, yeah.
Yep, I know how that goes. I know how that goes. But being able to sit with someone and put them on a plan to one day, reach their American dream, right, of home ownership, and it's definitely
Absolutely.
rewarding.
It
Perfect.
is.
Perfect. And I know you kind of already told me about a little bit about the company, but anything else you want to add to? Because you're obviously a manager, so tell me a little bit about that.
So we have Lenders United. We are a lender and a broker. So we have 120 plus in-house investors and 60 plus broker options. So we really do have a wide variety that we can meet people's needs. If it's not something that we can do in-house, we also have the option to broker. It's the same process. It's just multiple options. It makes it easier to get people qualified.
Awesome, awesome. Great. Well, and as we already kind of said last week, we got a little bit into VAs and how that work. And today we're going to talk more specifically for FHA. So we'll just get right into it. Tell us, those specifics to an FHA loan.
So we have an FHA loan, which is, insured by the Federal Housing Administration. And it's designed for borrowers who, have less than perfect credit. You can go all the way down into the 500s. If you're anything under 580, you're looking at a 10% down payment. If you're over a 580, you're looking at a 3.5% down payment.
Okay.
It really has a lot of flexibility when it comes to this. It's not a one time thing. If you've used an FHA loan before, you're free to use it as many times as you want. There are also programs that allow you to purchase with 100% financing. Some of those programs go down to 600. Some of them are a little more flexible that allow you to go down a little further. I will say, the qualification process for those is a little more strenuous. Um, but it really helps people get in homes without having 5%, 10%, 20% to put down. It's really flexible in that aspect. Um, they're your debt to income ratios can go higher on those loans than those of like conventional, where you're capped at like 50%. These allow you to go up a little higher if you want to spend more money to get the home that you want. Um, you can do renovation loans. As I said, the down payment assistance loans. You have a ton of options available to you if you have a lower credit score or you only have a limited amount of funds to put down. So
Okay. And then correct me if I'm wrong. I know you said that you can get an FHA multiple times in your life, but my understanding is typically this is for someone's primary residence.
So it has to be a primary residence. You cannot purchase an investment property or, a second home or something like that with the FHA program. It's supposed to be your primary residence. Now, if you own a home already with an FHA loan, you if you're purchasing, it can't be within a 100-mile radius in order to keep that FHA loan. So you
Okay.
can only have one at a time. So
One at
it's
a
not like
time.
or you can have multiple ones. It's you can have one at a time.
Got it. Now, could you
So
be in the process of selling a home and buying FHA with an FHA loan?
yes,
Okay. Perfect. So I'm
Absolutely.
sure
You
you,
can sell and then go to a new one. It's not a first time home buyer program. You don't have to be a first time home buyer. There's no income restrictions for most of them, unless you're dealing with like, down payment assistance. But also, a good tool, everybody says, oh, I don't like the houses on the market. I wish I could change the kitchen, things like that. There's options where you can purchase and do all of that at the same time and have it included in the loan while only making that 3.5% down payment. So
awesome,
nice to
awesome.
get what you want with, a lower down payment.
Absolutely. Because for some people, I mean, everybody's situation is different, right? Some just can't seem to save that down payment. So down payment assistance is awesome. Some maybe struggle with their credit, right? And they
Right.
need to go FHA. So it's, I know it's definitely a government program to help people into home ownership, and, sometimes the not best case scenarios.
Correct. It does get you in that home and you know it's yours and the mortgage
Absolutely.
does have monthly mortgage insurance, which is, pretty low comparatively. That's just something that's included in your payment. And usually it's less than, going out to eat one time a month, which is really nice.
Nice, nice. Awesome. Love your little pink cup there.
Oh yeah, coffee time. Definitely need it.
I think I need coffee. I'm over here like, oh, I'm really tired and I know I got plenty of sleep. Awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
coffee is definitely a must.
sorry. Uh, Anything else you can think of that is special or unique to FHA loans to share with the public?
I mean, they're just for people that, the credit scores may not be where you want them to be. You have limited funds to work with. They're a great option, pretty standard. There's a lot of people that utilize these. So, I mean, if it can get you into a home, do whatever you can to get into a home. That's where
Absolutely.
you're going to gain your net worth. That's where you're going to, invest in yourself. So, why not take advantage of it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime you could be paying yourself. Absolutely. Well,
Oh,
awesome.
yes.
And Brandy, I know that I'd love for you to just touch on this because you are licensed in a whole lot of states.
I am. I am in a whole lot of states, and we actually have somebody available in all 50 states. So anything that you need, we can pretty much service you, get you prepped, get you ready to buy a home. It doesn't have to be today, but everybody says, hey, I'm working with so and so. Somebody told me this, somebody told me that. If you're not working with an actual lender to get you ready to buy a home, you could be doing things like paying off a credit card. That may not be the best option for you to do to get into that home. You may need to pay on it consistently to keep your credit score in line to where it needs to be. A lender can guide you through that process and prep you when you're ready. I mean, even if it's a year from now or 2 years from now, talk to a lender, preferably me,
Of
and
course. Yeah,
get yourself ready. Don't just listen to things that people say or you read on the internet. You may actually be hurting yourself by some of the things
right.
that you hear. So it's very important that you talk to a lender.
And I couldn't advocate for that more because everybody's situation is different. What you read online may or may not apply. And when it comes to money, I say don't do anything unless you have your lender's
No,
permission. Don't even close an account just because you don't use it because maybe that's
no,
your longest
that
account,
actually
right?
kills your credit score. Like, do never close an account that you don't use because that's available credit. When you close that account,
Yeah,
bam, score drops. So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Brandy, if they want to get a hold of you directly, what is the best way for them to do that?
call me, text me, email me. My cell phone number is 931-980-7571. And that's 931-980-7571. I'm here. There is no question that is dumb to us. If you don't know, you don't know. And I would much rather you ask a question. If it's 5,000 questions, ask that question because I want to make sure you're prepared and you know what you're going into and what to expect. And mortgages change daily. So somebody that purchased a house 5 years ago or even 5 months ago may not be the same situation as you. So ask questions. There's no question too dumb to ask.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for your time today and educating us on the different types of loans. And I look forward to seeing you again here in the next week.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for
Awesome.
having me.
Of course. Thank you. Thank